Rosie Seha, and I'm going to be talking about key points from the book Presenting to Win by Jerry Weissman. But first I want you to think about, do you want to be a ripple in the ocean of communication, or do you want to be a wave of information and communication? I think you want to be a wave, and that's what Jerry Weissman does. He's a previous writer-producer for CBS television. He's an effective communicator, and he's also the world's number one corporate presentation coach. So he is the wave of communication. We're going to discuss a few of the most important chapters in Presenting to Win. Chapter 1, you and your audience. Chapter 2, the power of the WIFI. And Chapter 5, capturing your audience. Here I gave you a brief overview of them, but we're going to be discussing them a little bit more in depth, each one, and then we'll discuss some scripture that applies to work life, personal life. They're all applicable, but I chose 3 to discuss with you, and then we'll wrap it up with some reflection of the things that we discussed. Let's move forward. You and your audience. It's all about audience advocacy. Now what that is that you tailor every piece of your presentation, the bullet points, the graphs, the visuals, all of it through the eyes of your audience. Not what you would perceive it to be, but your audience. How are they going to grasp the information? Tailoring it to them. And in order to do that, you need to get to know your audience. You need to know what they're apprehensive about, how they may view your product or your investment, what you want them to invest in as negative. You want to find out those things out, and you know that by knowledge. You want to get them to have their aha moment, where at the end, because you know your audience, at the end of the presentation, they want to say, where do I sign? And that's why the power of WIFI is important. Now, WIFI stands for what's in it for you. Now, not you, the presenter, but your audience. That's the change in the mindset, where you need to tailor everything to your audience. You need to spell out the benefit of whatever you're presenting to them. Say it, spell it out. Make it easy for them. Don't make them think. And you do that by linking every piece of your presentation and leading your audience from your point A to point B. Linking why this benefits them, why is it good, why you, to your audience. And at the end, again, having them say when they get to point B, because you've navigated them there, where do I sign, where do I buy it? But in order to do that, you need to capture your audience. Now, if you remember when I started my opening gambit by an analogy. And that's what you need to do. There's many different gambits that you can use, but I chose 2. I chose an analogy, which is comparing 2 things that are not alike, like the ripple in the ocean of waves to communication, or question. And you need to get their attention as soon as they walk in. As soon as you come out, you want to get their attention, because you don't know what's on their mind. They could be looking at their phone, they could be looking at their calendar, at their next meeting, what's up next. Their brain is thinking, what's my next project? Or maybe they have some things going on at home. We don't know that. But when they get there, we want their attention to be on you. You want to capture their audience. For example, if you ask everybody a question, let's say, who in here has a phone? Mostly everybody will raise their hand, so they're going to stop what they're doing and start focusing on you. And that's how you capture your audience. Now, we're going to move on to some scripture. Proverbs 12:1 says, whoever loves instruction loves knowledge, but he who hates correction is stupid. Now, the Presenting to Win book is a vast amount of knowledge. It definitely made me feel like a better presenter, because now I know how to do key things in a presentation. Now, I'm not saying that people are stupid, but if you continue to learn, you continue to grow. Galatians 6:9 says, let us not become weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest of what we do, harvest if we do not give up. Now, I'm a big believer in you reap what you sow. Now, you could have a hard time at work, a hostile work environment, but you continue to be kind and be more like Christ was, you're going to reap those rewards. Things are going to get better at work. At home, the same thing. As long as you keep doing good and you don't give up and you'll persevere. For example, a college student going to school, they think their works of school are never ending or exhausting or giving them anxiety, but they keep doing that hard work. They're going to graduate, they're going to get their degree, and they're going to reap those good rewards, but we just have to remember not to give up. And that's why 1 Peter 5:7 tells us, cast all of your anxiety on him because he cares for you. That's Jesus' promise. He doesn't want us to live in this world of worry or what keeps us up late at night or if we're going to finish school or how will we ever finish school. He wants us to cast our fears on him so that he can take care of us. He can fulfill that promise. So just reminding you to cast your fears on him and he will take care of you. Now reflection. Remember the change in mindset. When you're doing your presentation, you tailor it to your audience. It's with audience advocacy, audience focused. What's in it for them? And a vivid presentation. The presentation is just the bones. You're the meat. You bring it to life. Thank you.